Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to the top 50 games of all time, or at least my top 50 game of all time, 30 through to 21. And if you saw last episode, 40 to 31, you know, I was not in a happy mood. This is recorded right after due to my plan of uploading whenever, so I'm hoping it fucking lasts this time. I will know that it's just a SD card problem. If it works now. If it doesn't, it's a camera problem, and that's more expensive. So, fingers crossed. But, number 30, Black Hole Buccaneers. So this is a drafting game. It's Danish design, always lovely to point that out. To have some Danish going through, yes. And what I really like about this one is the jokes around pop culture, right? At least the sci-fi pop culture, you know, Doctor Who and Star Wars and Pokemon and these funny ones on the cards. I think it's so hilarious to me to just read those, really is. I love the sort of, it's very luck driven of course, but I love the risk to reward with, for example, monsters or robots and the shapeshifters. What's that about? Is there more in play than this 8 that I'm playing down now? Well, fingers crossed there is. And you know, it's the other people playing robots. Lovely. Or the time machine, you know, can I get enough parts to make this work? This sort of risk versus reward system is nice. Of course, it's not a very educated guess on whether it's going to work, so that's sort of down, but I really enjoy playing it. I love the scoring. It's such a weird scoring, and it's something that just suits me very well. Set with a drafting game. Lovely. Number 29, Long Shot, the dice game. First ever roll and write we got. Made by Roland Wright. Terrible name, but the game is funny. It's about horses racing around and you roll the dice and then you get to do something with the horse that rolled that also moves. Short explanation. What I love is when a 7 or an 8 just runs. Because you can't have, it's always rolling dice, you can't have that when we just roll the 7 quite a decent amount of times and you add to the 7 like, go on man, you're my horse. And there's 7 bloody wins, we have had that happen. That's so funny when that happens. Such a great part of it. I sat at a point we had some multiple horses right at the line. One of them was mine, and we were like, "Okay, come on, roll my horse." And it rolled my horse. I jumped up like, "Oh yes," because that like meant I probably was going to win. Although I really can't win against my wife. Like she gets more than $100, well dollars, but I call it points. Obviously, every time I get less than hundreds almost every time. So I really can't beat her. She's so good at this game. But it's a lot of fun, roll and write. It's super simple, super easy, super fun. Number 28. Another drafting game. This time by Unstable Games. Another one from them. I was about to say. Wrong Party. So a lovely little drafting game here where you draw a card every time. It's not every drafting game you do that. This is one of the only ones I can think of actually. I'm sure it exists everywhere. I'm not saying this is super special because of that, but it's just interesting to change it up like that. What I like about this one is you have this uninvited guest pile, which is like cards you're removing, but you might get access to them later. So there's an idea of putting down good cards, which I usually do. Like I sit there counting points. I might as well admit it. There's a few things that we sort of misunderstood. With some of the rules, first time we played it, we've learned seconds after that, so it's a lot better now to play it, yeah. But lovely, and again, some lovely ways of scoring straight up points, what they like and what they don't like, right? You're bringing the people to a party, they need to like it. So, some lovely, that's a little thematic touch, some lovely little drafting game. Number 27, Star Wars Rebellion. A massive game here. I played it a couple times with a friend. The same per guy. We just switch sides, you know, I'm Rebellion, then he's Rebellion, and yeah. I haven't won it yet, although I've played all sides, and that's annoying, but whatever. I might share a picture right here of last time we played it where I was Rebellion. That should tell you all you need to know in that picture. Yes, Hoth was my secret rebel base. That's very annoying when he looks at me and goes, "You're a thematic gamer. I'm gonna land on Hoth." But it's a really fun game. It involves the Star Wars galaxy, and you move around in ways that make sense, and you have heroes to complete quests, and it's a really cool game. I don't know if it's like super thematic, like the theme is awesome, and there are thematic touches, but I don't know if it's super thematic, whatever. Well, it is. It's Star Wars all the way through. Would it work if it was anything other than Star Wars? No. So great game. Number 26, not a Star Wars game, and not a really great game. The only pandemic game that I will tolerate, well, of the ones I've played so far. Star Wars, the Clone Wars, a pandemic system. I call it that just to make sure that people know what I'm talking about, in case there's other Star Wars, the Clone Wars games. What the fuck happened there? Why this is really great is obviously, I've talked about this in the pandemic special of 5 games I've played. You get to reshuffle the cards, you don't just lose. So that's really great. Running around eradicating the world is great. The powers that you get from the Jedi's are really great. Really specializes the game, I would say. And it's really helpful to work together in this one. Easier to work together. Like in co-op games, you usually you have an alpha game. In this one, I felt like we all work together. Perhaps that's because we're all alpha gamers and everybody was just like, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. Maybe that's why, but I really had a great time playing this game, and I looked at buying it. It's quite expensive, so I just played when we were at that board game cafe. Number 25, one that I just stumbled across on Board Game Geek in a random board game search. I read up on it and I loved it. It's a historic theme, which is great. I love these kinds of history-driven games, and it's a small 2-player game. It's really fabulous. It's 1911 Amundsen versus Scott. The story of Roald. I'm gonna say it in Danish. Roald Amundsen. That's as close to Norwegian, so that's like a correct pronunciation. Versus Robert F. Scott, and the chase to get to the South Pole. The first. Of course, in real life, tragically, Robert F. Scott dies only about 80 kilometers from goal, something along those lines. Like very short of it, very tragic story in real life. This one you get to change story, get Robert Scott to be first at South Pole, or bring him back alive, which I managed to do. Yay! But I really love this game. It's a simple little. You have a grid of, you have some cards out where you can choose 1 for free, trade 1 to 2, or 3 for 3. To get these cards, and then the colors have to match, but some of the cards have special abilities. It was such a lovely, simple game. The historic theme in it is awesome, and some of the expansions, like Food Depot's expansion, or Weathered expansion, or just the Helping Hand expansion, or whatever that stuff, was such a lovely thematic touches. I really loved playing this game. It's only number 25, so I really love all the games above it. But that's number 25 in 1911, Amundsen vs. Scott. Number 24. Another Unstable Games game too on this list, one of the last ones on the list, but a really great game. We've played it so much. It's Happy Little Dinosaurs. Now this game was number 20 last year, so the bottom of the list. It has obviously falling a little bit down, but it's probably one of the ones that is closest to where it was last time around. And that's because it's very consistent. It is a really fun game where you try to score points by having the highest amount of cards. And if you have the lowest, you get disasters into your hand. If you have too many disasters, you die. It's such a fun game. Like, there isn't a moment in this game, there's not a round in this game that isn't fun. There isn't you drawing up a card going either yay or just having fun. It's like never a neutral feeling you have playing this game. It's such a fun game. There isn't much to talk about. It's very simple. You've instructed to decide a game, but then you have some instant cards that can do something. It's very simple, but that's not a bad thing. In this case, it's such a brilliant thing. It's so funny, and Hazard's Ahead is a great little expansion for it. Next up we have, well, actually the last 3 on this list are going to be from the previous list as well. New York Zoo is number 23. New York Zoo, that's better. That's where the picture is going to be and everything. It was number 17 last year, so obviously being 3 ahead, now only 1 ahead, it's a worse position, and then have a little dinosaurs. Also, didn't I have one down here? Yeah, Cascadia. Dropped way more often these two, obviously. It was better than Happy Little Dinosaurs, but worse than they should. Completely changed around there. It's interesting to see those kinds of things. Anyways, New York Zoo. Polyamorous game. I believe it's the first straight up polyamorous game that shows up on this list. I really like it. building this grid trying to fill your zoo, obviously. I like that it's trying to fill the zoo, right? Some polyominousness games end at some point. Well, not necessarily polyominousness, but there's a lot of where you're trying to build something where it ends before you've built it done. And I love New York Zoo for just finishing it. I like how to fill in the animals, right? To try and make that work and get some special tiles for it. And going around the elephant. And I really like how when it's something is empty, you skip that. That's something to think about. Like, you have to think about that when moving the elephant. Sometimes, like, when we first played with some people, they like, oh wait, that's not a spotted mole. Oh, no, sorry, I didn't tell you that, but that's not a spotted mole. Oh. It's like, what? But it's a fun little game, quick to go through. At number 22, it is a drop of 10 from 12th to 22nd. Dinosaur Exibit. Now this obviously doesn't mean that it's a bad game. It's still a really, really good game. Dinosaur Exibit. It's still up there with Special Out. I love that cover. And it's another roll and write, which is just very, very simple. You're trying to scratch off areas to put in dinosaur, skeletons for your exhibit and score the most points that way. Absolutely just a very, very simple and lovely gameplay, and I don't know, I just really, really love it. It's difficult for me to put exact words on why I love it, but I really, really do. It's so simple. It's building this grid and scoring these points and trying to match the sets. It's great at lower and a higher player count. I really, really love this game, and it's 22nd now. It dropped a little bit down, but that's just what happens when I include so many more games. And at number 21, a drop of 7. Was number 14 last time, so another one where it's changed around, right? 12 and 14 now, and now it's 21 and 22. Baron Park. This is the first polyominousness game that I bought, and one of the first ones I really, really wanted. Baron Park. I went out and bought it, and the expansion, it's great. And I really like this one. I like it because, again, it's about filling out the grid. You fill out the grid, great job. But this one, you expand the grid as you go. So it's adding to it, and you have to remember it before you stop. But anyways, that is so great for me, because you can't plan everything out, because it's, oh, now I got this tile here, and how can I make it work? Can I do this? Can I do this? And then random you draw a tile where it's, oh, they are placed like that, the ones that give you more tiles, so how can I best utilize that? I love that aspects of it. The Bad News Bear expansion adds, of course, the exit, one more tile to fill out. And the rails, just lovely, and the big tiles, very, very lovely little additions to it. And again, a very simple way of scoring. Sometimes a complicated way of scoring is great, sometimes a simple way of scoring is better. And in this instance, it's better than Black Hole Buccaneers, for example. Lovely Baron Park, just a very lovely game. I don't understand why people don't like polyominousness games. So this seems to have gone a lot better, so maybe I can record some more videos. I mean, next up, it's the top 20 games of all time. Oh my god, is the top 10 changed at all? Who knows? But hey, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm in a better mood now, because now I know that it's probably just the SD cards that's fucked and not the camera. So I just need a new of the big SD cards rather than this is a very small one. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!